If what I just demonstrated is how you wipe yourself after using the bathroom, I want you to come to the front seat, okay? This video is for you, all right? Hello, my name is Victoria, okay? I do content about nursing, beauty, nutrition, lifestyle, any information that's gonna benefit your health and wellness. I love to discuss, okay? With all that being said, in today's video, we're gonna be discussing urinary tract infection. What is urinary tract infection? Have you had urinary tract infection? Do you have anyone close to you that have experienced this disease? Okay, you can tell me that in the comment section. What is urinary tract infection? Urinary tract infection is an infection that affects the urinary system. What are the urinary system? The urinary system include the kidney, both the right and the left kidney. It includes the ureters. The ureters are the tube that transports urine from the kidney down to the bladder, okay? So we have the right ureter, we have also the left ureter, okay? We have the bladder and we have the urethra. The system is two kidneys, right and left, two ureters, right and left, one bladder and one urethra, okay? And that is both in men and in women. Men have two kidneys, they have two ureters, they have one bladder, and they have one urethra. So what does it mean when a doctor or a healthcare provider tells you that you have urinary tract infection? Okay, what is it? What's going on? It means that there's a bacteria that have transported itself somehow into the urinary system through the urethra. Signs and symptoms of urinary tract infection depends on the location of the infection. What is this bacteria called? This bacteria is called Escherichia coli, okay? Don't even bother trying to remember. It's popularly known as E. coli. No one says Escherichia. We just say E. coli. So when a healthcare provider tells you that you have an infection caused by this bacteria E. coli, you know that you have urinary tract infection. Where is this E. coli found? E. coli is found in the gut, okay? It's found in the digestive system. You guys, for those that are not in healthcare, digestive starts from the mouth and it ends in the anus, where you poop from, okay? That's the anus, where digestion ends. So this bacteria E. coli lives, a lot of them are found in the anus, okay? So that's where you're gonna find a lot of them. When you get this infection caused by the bacteria E. coli, what are the signs that you're gonna see in your body? Like to alert you, to make you think that something is going on at this time. If it's in the upper urinary, the signs and symptoms are different. If it is in the lower urinary, the signs and the symptoms are also different. But what are the upper urinary system and what are the lower urinary system? The urethra, which is where the urine comes from, okay? I'm gonna say this for men. Men have sexual pleasure from the same body part. They urinate also from the same body part. But for women, it's different, okay? The opening in the private area where a woman sees her period is also where she gives birth. That is the birth canal. That is also where penetration goes through when you are having intercourse with, a man. But that is not the same place that a woman urinates from, okay? A woman urinary opening is above the vagina, okay? It's called the urethra. So women have two openings down there in the front. Apart from the anus where we poop from, we have two more openings in the front private area. One is the vagina and the other one is the urethra. The urethra is where the urine comes from. So the same place you see your period as a woman is not the same place that you urinate from. It's two different openings. If you want to find out, you can sit down in your bathtub, okay, and place a standing mirror like this mirror in front of you. We're about to urinate, and allow yourself to ease. Allow the urine flow to come out, and you're gonna see where urine is coming from. If you don't have a bathtub and you have a old clothes that you no longer use, is condemned, you're not using it, you can also buy a standing mirror, sit down or squat in front on top of the clothes that you're gonna discard, the clothes that you no longer use. Let the urine come out. Watch in the mirror and see where the urine is coming from. You're gonna see that it's not the same opening where you see your menses. That's not where the urine comes from. And the place that urine is coming from, when you see it using the mirror, is called the urethra, okay? It's not the vagina, it's the urethra. So when the bacteria travels in there, it gets inflamed. That's why when you go to the doctor and they tell you, oh, you have urethritis, it means that this infection is still in the urethra, which is the lower system of the urinary tract. And it travels from the urethra to the bladder. When it gets to the bladder, now the doctor is going to tell you you have cystitis. Okay? Now you know that, oh, infection is in the lower part. When this infection travels from the bladder to the ureter, which are the two tubes that connects the kidney to the bladder. So when this travel from there to the kidney, the problem becomes bigger, and that is the part that nobody want to experience, and it's called pyelonephritis. Okay? That's the process of the disease transfer. Now, when this disease is still in the urethra and the bladder, the symptoms that you're gonna experience, I made a mnemonic called BOFF. The B in my BOFF stands for burning. You're gonna have this burning sensation in the urethra, so hot and spicy, like someone rubbed a spicy or hot pepper in your private area. That is the kind of spicy that you're gonna feel. That's the burning that you're gonna experience when you have UTI. You're also gonna experience urgency. There is an increased urge that never goes away. You have this urge to pee. They have the urge to urinate. It never goes away. It's intensified, okay? The intensity gets worse, okay? The longer the infection is in your system. The F stands for frequency. You will frequently run to the bathroom to use the bathroom. You frequently run to the bathroom to ease yourself. But when you get to the bathroom, you will be surprised that you're only gonna urinate just a little drop of urine. And before we know it, the next minute you also have the urge again to go, and you frequent yourself to the bathroom, and when you get to the bathroom, you also have a little drop. So when you experience this, the infection is in the lower urinary tract, and this is the time that you need to go see a doctor. You need to go see a healthcare provider, okay? So they can do urinalysis and also prescribe you the medication that you need to treat the infection. When this infection is not treated and it travels up, and when it goes all the way to the kidney, the symptoms that you're gonna feel is chills, okay? You're gonna start having chills, you're gonna start having fever, your body temperature is gonna be very, very hot, and you will start having pain in the area that in medical we call it flank, okay? The flank is the position between the end of your rib here and the beginning of your hip bone. In between those, the end of your rib and your hip bone in the middle there, that's the position of the kidney. Okay, that's where the kidney is. So when you go to the hospital and you tell the doctor that you're having this flank pain and you're vomiting or you are nauseous, those are the signs of the infection being in the kidney. At this time, your kidney is already infected. You need antibiotics to treat this infection, okay? Because if left untreated, it's gonna cause damage to your kidney. And kidney is very important in the body. That is one organ that you don't wanna play with, okay? So how then do we get this infection, okay? This infection comes through poor personal hygiene. After using the bathroom. You saw the demonstration that I did at the beginning of the video, right? People who wipe themselves from the back all the way to the front. What you are doing is that you're transferring the bacteria, E. coli, from the anus into the urethra, okay? So that is not the right way to wipe yourself. When you use the bathroom, the proper way to wipe yourself is from front. You make sure your hand is coming all the way from the front to the back. Front to the back. Never wipe yourself like this. Anytime you wipe yourself like this, you are calling urinary tract infection to come visit you. Hello UTI, I'm interested in you, come visit me. That's what you're doing when you wipe like this. So if you want to prevent this infection from reaching your side, make sure you wipe like this. What are the other ways that urinary tract infection can come? By holding onto your urine. Holding urine. Each time you have the urge to use the bathroom and you hold it back, you don't go. What you are doing is that you holding, remember urine is a waste product, so you holding it into your bladder and it's gonna stay there and do what? start growing bacteria. Another thing that's gonna cause you to develop this infection is when you don't drink enough water. You know, when you drink water, it helps to flush the system. So when you don't drink no water, you are calling onto UTI, okay? So drinking enough water is gonna help you to flush out your system. You know, another thing that causes UTI is being a woman. Yes. Why us? I don't know. Nature did. There's nothing that we did wrong to be at risk for UTI. It's just nature, okay? So how did nature make women to be at risk for UTI and not men? I'm gonna tell you. So as a woman, the openings are together. I have a little thing that I draw in my book that I'm gonna just show you guys a little demonstration here. So this is the reason why a woman is at more risk to get urinary tract infection more than a man. This is a woman private part, okay? This is the anus, this is the two legs. This is the left leg, for example, this is the right leg, okay? When you come to a woman private part, this is the labia minora. For those that are in healthcare, you understand. And this is the labia majora, okay? And this is where you have hairs, the pubic hairs, where the hairs grow in the private area. And this is the clitoris. So over here is the urethral opening for the urine to come out. This is where urine come from, and this is where your period come from. This is where you give birth from, and this is where penetration also happen, okay? So the opening where you see your period and where the urine comes from is two different things. And because a woman's urethra is very short, and this is the anus where all this bacteria is, it's very easy for a bacteria to crawl in here, right? That's why, because a woman's urethra is short, it's easy for a bacteria to just travel in there. Meanwhile, this is a man private part. This is the opening of the penis, okay? Right here. So it's very, and this is the anus over here. It's very hard for the bacteria to travel all the way down here without dying on the road, okay? It's not easy for bacteria to travel unless it happened during sexual intercourse, where the penis touches, you know, area where the bacteria live. It's really hard for men to get urinary tract infection unless they have kidney stone and also prostate issues, enlarged prostate. Other than that, a woman is always at risk for getting this infection because of the short urethra, and the environment around this area is surrounded with bacteria, okay? Apart from women, being a woman being a risk factor, children are also risk factors. How come children, babies are risk factors? Okay, I'm gonna tell you. If a child poop, okay, or defecate in the diaper and you don't wipe them properly, you're wiping them from back to the front. What you are doing is cleaning the poop and introducing the poop to the urethra. If it's a male child, you're introducing the poop in the penis opening, and if it's the female child, you're introducing the poop into the urethra, okay? And that can transfer these bacteria, and the child is gonna have urinary tract infection. Another time that a child can have urinary tract infection is during potty train, okay? When you train the children, please train them right and teach them the proper way to wipe themselves, so they don't start wiping from back to front. Teach them to wipe from their front to the back, okay? Another risk of UTI is kidney stone. Kidney stones cause obstruction or urine flow blockage, okay? They don't allow urine to flow completely. And when urine is blocked because of the stone, they settle in the urethra. And when they stay in the urethra, guess what happened? Because urine is there, because urine cannot flow out properly into the bladder, it stays in the urethra because of the blockage from the stone. What happens is that bacteria stays there to multiply, okay? Bacteria multiply because of urine blockage, okay? Pregnancy is another risk factor for urinary tract infection. How come pregnancy is a good thing? When a woman gets pregnant, she's excited, she's expecting her little one. Because when a woman gets pregnant, the immune system naturally decreases because the body is trying not to fight against the baby. Okay, so the immune system decreases to accommodate the baby, so the body doesn't fight the baby. And when the immune system decreases, so the body cannot fight off infection as fast as it used to before the woman gets pregnant. Another reason is when a woman gets pregnant, as the baby grows, the womb where the baby is pushes on the bladder. So for example, if a pregnant woman used to contain 1 cup in her bladder before she feels the urge to use the bathroom, when she gets pregnant, the bladder will no longer be able to contain 1 cup. It's gonna only contain, example, like ½ cup. Why? Because the size, the more the baby grows, the baby is pushing on the bladder, pressing on the bladder, and the bladder is no longer able to contain as much urine as it used to. That's why when a woman is pregnant, they frequently use the bathroom, because the size of urine that they can hold onto while pregnant is no longer the size they used to hold before pregnancy. Okay, that's why where I come from, when a pregnant woman asks to use the bathroom, you don't even give them no excuse not to use it. They get express, access to use the bathroom anywhere. Another risk factor for urinary tract infection is diabetes. Diabetes is one disease that weakens the immune system. When you are diabetic, your immune system is very, very weak. Okay? And because the immune system is weak, it's harder for the body to fight off infection. Another risk factor is birth control. You see all these spermicides and diaphragms that you insert in your private area? Ooh, you can introduce bacteria on the process, okay? So another one is sexual intercourse. When you are getting intimate, the private area, the genital organs are surrounded with bacteria. So the more you play around over there and then penetration happens, you can transfer E. coli, which is the bacteria, into the urethra, okay, on the process. And in that process, it's easy for a man to get it, because normally it's not easy for a man to get UTI unless that man have kidney stone or they have enlarged prostate. But during sexual intercourse, both a man and a woman can get it, because at that point you both are engaged in the action, okay? And during the process of the engagement, you can transfer E. coli that is already there. The bacteria is already there. That's why proper personal hygiene is very, very important before you get into sexual intercourse. Take shower, wipe yourself properly, okay, before you go down there. You might be transferring bacteria without knowing, okay? If for any reason you notice that you have UTI or it's ongoing now, or you've had it in the past, you didn't treat it, it's really important that you go to the doctor, okay? Thank you so much for watching my videos, and I will see you in my next one. Hey, if you like what I'm wearing, if you like my scrub, you like the fit, okay, this is my brand, Vogue Styling, okay? As you can see, I'm also gonna put it there, VogueStylingLLC.com. The link to my website is on any social media platform that you're watching me from. Anywhere you see this video, the link to my website is attached. Please support me, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye. Keep hydrated, okay? And do not wipe yourself from back to the front. It's always from front to back. I'll see you in my next one. Bye now.